Cardiff Inequalities, The Tale of Two Towns, by Sam Truscott, Ian Rhys-Evans and Sean Cuff. Our drift takes place between the start of Bute Road in Butetown and ends in Mermaid Quay in Cardiff Bay. We were interested in this area after seeing this map, which shows the level of deprivation within the various districts of Cardiff. Butetown, here, is statistically the most deprived area in Cardiff according to the Welsh Index of Multiple Deprivation, whereas the neighbouring area of Cardiff Bay, here, has been described as one of the most successful regeneration projects in the UK, and unsurprisingly is statistically the least deprived area of Cardiff. The fact that Cardiff's most and least deprived areas are situated right next to each other is an interesting situation, and so we decided to walk between them and observe the contrasting features between each place and see if we could determine any borders between where the poor part ends and where the rich part begins. The regeneration of Cardiff Bay has been met with bitterness and resentment from most of the residents of Butetown. One local shopkeeper told us, "Development in the bay is not for us, it's just a way to move us out, slowly but surely." Many residents feel forgotten, one Malling telling us, "Development in the bay is not being perceived to be putting what it can back into the community, and Butetown is sort of being left behind." As soon as we start our drift at the beginning of Bute Street, we are immediately struck by the amount of litter and rubbish dropped all over the place. This ranged from the usual types of litter, bottles, bin bags, wrappers, to some more unusual forms of waste. Furthermore, potentially attractive features such as trees have been cut down in many places, and there are also clear signs of vandalism to public property throughout the area. As we move down smaller side roads off Bute Street, we see evidence of other problems that the local residents face. This example of a public police notice states that drug dealing in the area is again a problem in Butetown, with users and dealers congregating near entrances to flats and the car park area. It goes on to say that residents are feeling intimidated in this area. There are very few detached or semi-detached housing within Butetown, and instead there is row after row of terrace houses along with old decaying blocks of flats, which only further emphasises the lack of wealth within the area. There are no big chain shops within Butetown, as it seems manufacturers see no economic incentive of setting up businesses there. In their place, there are privately owned, unbranded shops which people use to get their groceries. This can also be said of local cafes and restaurants, all unattractive blocks of buildings, all run-down local businesses. As we move to the end of Bute Street, we find a clear boundary marker between where the old forgotten Butetown ends and the rich regenerated Bay area begins. Here, a derelict building seems to sum up Butetown, and is only a road's width away from a row of beautifully preserved, expensive houses, with the Cardiff Millennium Centre in the distance. After walking past this boundary marker, it does not take us long to notice a change. The Bay is a thriving community, and we are immediately struck by new buildings of flats being built. Attractive and modern, they are the sort of buildings that Butetown could only dream of. Unsurprisingly, these flats are in high demand, and we are constantly told that they are selling fast, like banners such as these stating that 40% already sold before they have even been built. The redevelopment of Cardiff Bay covered 2,700 acres and is estimated to have cost £2.4 billion. The main seafront area of Mermaid Quay is surrounded by landmark buildings and tourist attractions such as the Wales Millennium Centre, the £67 million Welsh Assembly Building, and the beautifully preserved Pier Head Building. It is also home to the Cardiff's first five-star hotel, St David's Hotel. The numerous bars, restaurants, cafes and grocery shops are some of the most successful brands in the UK, and it seems like a world away from the ones we saw in Butetown, despite the distance only being, geographically, less than 2 miles. During our drift it has become clear that both Butetown and Cardiff Bay truly deserve their respective tags as the most and least deprived area in the region. What is more surprising is the extent of the change over such a small space. There is, however, hope for Butetown, as new types of development are eventually starting to find its way to some of the most porous areas. One of the most notable examples of this is the Butetown graffiti wall, which was finished in November 2008. It took 111 days, 450 cans of spray paint, and is now the longest mural in Britain. The wall chronics alive with Butetown icons such as Dame Shirley Bassey and boxing champ Joe Erskine. In addition to this, it tells the story of the town, including the 1919 race riots and the decline of the coal trade. This seems to be the start of more development in the area, as a 3-year, £13 million project to redevelop a shopping parade, community hub, health centre and homes in the Butetown begin in 2010. This project also includes 62 new homes and importantly will follow 4 years of consultation with local residents. All in all, the future looks brighter for Butetown, and maybe one day the inequalities between the successful Bay Area and the poorer Butte Street areas will cease to exist.